Hello, everybody. Good day. This is Fred with Wentworth CCTV of New England, and we are coming at you today quickly with a video on mesh technology. Mesh is when we connect two access points together wirelessly. As you know from previous videos, we're not a big fan of mesh in commercial environments where you have massive amounts of people connecting to each access points just because it's not effective. But in a small restaurant or even a medium-sized business, a house, bowling alley, bar, that type of environment, mesh is very effective. And we're going to cover how to program these guys right now. All right, so let's get in the meat and potatoes, right? If you have not subscribed to our channel, there is a red subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Please do that. Give us some comments, give us some likes. Last month, I believe we had 4,000 views on this channel, which we're extremely proud of, but only 8% were actual subscribers. So some of you clowns are watching and not subscribing. Give us some love. Okay, so mesh technology is very simply put, where you have multiple access points, 2, 3, 4, in a home or small business. Okay, you don't want to use mesh technology in a campground, in a marina, in a stadium, where you're going to have hundreds of clients or users connect to each access point. Okay, that's for point-to-point distribution. That's for hardwired access points. But in smaller locations, where say you're going to have 20 users or less connected to each access point, it's a very effective, cost-effective way to set up a Wi-Fi system. Okay, so we're talking about smaller businesses and homes here, bowling alleys, restaurants, bars, hair salons, stuff like that. Okay, liquor stores. Um, so we're going to have a main access point that would have to be hardwired into your modem or router, just like any other access point, right? Once that's set up, this can distribute its Wi-Fi broadcast on the 5 gigahertz band to other access points. So if we have our modem, say in the living room on the main floor, we can plug this into it. We can also put an access point in the basement, on the third floor, maybe in the garage, and they will all communicate to this wirelessly, providing maximum coverage in each of those areas and good throughput. Okay, so how do we make that work? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we need to hook a PoE switch to our modem. And that PoE switch is going to give power and data to this access point. And the switches that we use are made for Wi-Fi for this main access point. Okay, so this is going to be hardwired to a switch that's connected to the modem. We'll show you that in a minute. The subsequent access points that are going to connect to that wirelessly, they need to be powered using what's called a PoE injector. Okay, there's a link for a PoE injector and a switch below where you can purchase these guys for this project. But what a PoE injector is, plugs into the wall. There's two ports on a PoE injector. One will say data or LAN that plugs into your internet network, and one will say PoE. Okay, the PoE port gets plugged directly into the Ethernet port of your access point. Okay, so all of these subsequent access points that are going to connect to the main one, they don't need anything plugged into the data or LAN port of the injector. They only need to be plugged into the PoE port, and then they can be mounted to distribute Wi-Fi. Okay, so PoE injector are for the access points in the remote locations. The main access point, which is connected to the modem, is going to be connected to our engenius switch. Okay, we're going to cover that now.
Okay, for the purposes of programming these into mesh mode, we have both of our ECW 120 access points hardwired, as you can see, to our engenius PoE switch. Those plug in here and here. We also have the uplink port of our engenius switch going directly to our modem from our internet service provider. So these two are live with internet at this point, and ready to be programmed via the cloud. We're going to do that right now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go into the engenius cloud and configure these ECW 120 access points for mesh communication. Again, to download the cloud, to register devices in the cloud, to register access points in the cloud or switches, please reference the video above. We don't have time in this video to cover registering devices and download in the cloud, but that video will get you caught up to this point, certainly.
So we're going to go into device management right here, and we're going to go into inventory, and we're going to find those two ECW 120s. Okay, they'll generally be on the bottom here. These are all of our other managed access points. Okay, here they are. Both of them registered this morning. Those are our guys. We're going to pick those, and we're going to assign them to our network. Okay, so you need to create a broadcast network um, for your mesh access points, and basically that's just a mesh SSID. I'll go ahead and delete this and start from scratch with you folks. So we're just going to add SSID. You can name it. I'm going to name mine mesh demo. You could name yours house access points, whatever you want. Radio, we want 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It's dual band. That's important. Security type, we want WPA2PSK. You just need to pick a 8-digit, password. I'm just going to go, for the sake of this video, demo 1, 2, 3, 4. If you hit there, you can see it. There you go. We're going to leave all of this other stuff alone. We're going to leave it in bridge mode because it's the house. Obviously, in a commercial environment, we're going to have more clients connected. We would want the cloud to issue the clients or IP addresses through NAT. But for a house, you leave it bridge, and we're just going to leave that alone. Basically, you're entering the name, which is your broadcast SSID, and your password. Okay, and we're going to hit apply. The next thing we're going to do is go to this star and go to radio settings, and we need to enable mesh. Okay, down at the bottom here, it's indoor and outdoor. These are only indoor, but both we're going to enable mesh for the 5 gigahertz frequency. Why we want to use 5 gigahertz for mesh? It's a much faster band, right? There's more channels on 5 gigahertz. 2.4 we've discussed before. It's a stronger broadcast, but it's a lot slower. So when we're using mesh, we want to make sure that we have speed. We need lots of speed. It will also tell you here that we don't want to connect more than 8 of these guys with mesh, or we don't want to go more than 2 hops because the signal starts to get really diluted. So that's why I said in the video we don't want to do probably more than 4 access points. Okay. Each hop reduces throughput by about 50%. So anyway, we're going to enable mesh on the 5 gigahertz frequency. We're going to hit apply. Okay. We're going to also hit auto pair, which is going to configure these guys together while they're plugged into the same LAN. This is an 8-minute process. We need to let it finish before you unplug the wireless mesh access points and put them on the appropriate floors. Okay. After the 8 minutes is up, we will place ours on the second floor and we'll do adequate testing. The last thing we want to do is attach the inventory or the access points to that mesh SSID. So we're going to go back into inventory. We're going to find those two ECW 120s again, and we're going to assign them to that network now that it's created. So right here, assign to network, and we're going to find our mesh demo right here. We're going to hit apply. The network has been created successfully. So now we'll go to our dashboard and we should see that those two APs are in fact live. They are live. But as discussed in radio settings, they are still pairing. There's still 6 minutes and 48 seconds left in that process. So we'll let that finish and I will unplug the mesh node access point and I'll bring it upstairs. We'll plug it in using the PoE injector and we'll test those out. Again, the links for the PoE switch and the PoE injectors you need for mesh are listed below. There's links to order those. Okay, we'll see you when we're ready for test.
Okay, here we are upstairs and you can see that the access point is plugged into the Ethernet cord that is plugged into the PoE injector. Into the wall outlet. Again, the access point is plugged into the PoE port of that injector. and all the lights are on.
All right, folks, we're in the upstairs bathroom now, and what we are going to do is connect to that mesh demo broadcast, and we will test out this second floor mesh AP. We know the password that we set up was demo1234. So we'll connect to the network. Now we'll just do a simple speed test to make sure we're getting adequate bandwidth. We do have 100 Mbps here at the house, so I would expect with the YouTube and the TV going right now to get around 70 Mbps on a speed test up here. Maybe a little bit less. But we're still getting 3/4 with some devices going. Again, this isn't made for heavy usage. It's for a couple TVs, couple Xboxes per floor. And this tells us that we have low latency and our internet is very fast. So this covers how to successfully configure ECW 120 Ingenious access points for mesh mode to ensure you have strong coverage, as you can see, full bars here, on each floor of your home. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it, and we'll see you in the field.